Have you ever met someone at work, in your friend group, or maybe even in your own family, who just seems to rise to the top, no matter what? They walk into a room and instantly people pay attention. They get promotions faster, they dominate conversations, and somehow they always end up looking like the star of the show. And maybe you've wondered, how is this person so successful? When deep down, you know they're not actually smarter, kinder, or even better at the job than everyone else? Well, the answer might have to do with psychology, and specifically with narcissistic personality traits. Today, we're diving into a fascinating but complicated question. Why do narcissists often seem more successful than the rest of us? And more importantly, what does that mean for you? Whether you're working with one, dating one, or maybe even questioning if you share some of those traits yourself. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll not only understand the psychology behind narcissistic success, but you'll also learn how to protect yourself from their manipulative charm, and maybe even borrow a few healthy confidence tricks for your own growth. So here's the deal. In American culture, we tend to celebrate success stories. We love the bold CEO who takes risks, the influencer who grabs attention, or the politician who commands a crowd. But here's the hidden side. Many of the qualities that make narcissists difficult to deal with in close relationships are the very same qualities that can help them climb the social and professional ladder. That's what makes this topic so important. If you've ever been blindsided by a narcissist's success, or worse, hurt by one in your personal life, it helps to understand how they operate. Because when you know the psychology, you can stop being confused or intimidated, and start seeing the patterns for what they really are. Let's start with the basics. When we say narcissist, most people imagine someone who's obsessed with their looks, takes too many selfies, or brags all the time. But in psychology, narcissism is more nuanced. At its extreme, there's Narcissistic Personality Disorder, NPD, a clinical diagnosis. People with NPD have a deep need for admiration, a lack of empathy, and often exploit others for their own gain. But here's the thing, not every narcissist has full-blown NPD. Psychologists talk about narcissistic traits, a spectrum. And research shows that some of those traits, when combined with intelligence, charm, or ambition, can actually fuel success in competitive environments. Think about it. Confidence can look like leadership. Charm can open doors in networking. The hunger for admiration can drive someone to work harder, seek status, or chase achievements. So while narcissism in relationships can be toxic, in certain contexts like business, politics, or entertainment, it can actually be rewarded. That's why you often see narcissistic individuals in positions of power. From CEOs to celebrities, their ability to sell themselves sometimes matters more than their actual skills. Now let us break down the key psychological traits that explain why narcissists often rise higher and faster. 1. Confidence that looks like competence. In America, confidence is king. Whether it's a job interview, a first date, or a sales pitch, the person who sounds sure of themselves often gets chosen over someone who is quieter, even if the quieter person is more skilled. Narcissists excel here. They believe in their greatness, and they project that belief so strongly that other people start to believe it too. Example: picture two candidates interviewing for the same promotion. One humbly lists their skills. The other walks in, says, "I'm the best person for this job," and delivers their answer with charm and certainty. Guess who usually gets the role? 2. Charm and social magnetism. Narcissists often know exactly how to win people over, at least at first. They can be funny, charismatic, and even seductive. This is why narcissists often dominate in dating and networking. At a party, they're the one telling stories, making eye contact, and leaving people impressed. The catch? Over time, the mask slips. But in short-term interactions, their charm gives them an edge. 3. Ruthless drive for success. Most people want balance, time with family, hobbies, relaxation. But narcissists are driven by an insatiable need for recognition. They'll sacrifice sleep, relationships, and even ethics to chase status. And in a culture that rewards hustle and visibility, that obsession can look like ambition. Example: think about Wall Street, Hollywood, or Silicon Valley. Many high achievers have reputations for being cutthroat. To a narcissist, that's not a downside. It's a strategy. 4. Fearlessness in risk-taking. Narcissists believe they're special. That belief often makes them less afraid of failure. They'll take risks that others avoid, whether it's starting a business, speaking in public, or asking for a raise. And sometimes those risks pay off, making them appear bold and visionary. Of course, when risks backfire, they might blame others. But in terms of apparent success, their willingness to leap often pushes them further ahead. 5. Manipulation and strategic networking. Here's where it gets darker. Narcissists are skilled at reading what people want and then using it to their advantage. They'll flatter a boss, exploit a coworker's weakness, or take credit for someone else's work. And unfortunately, in competitive environments, this behavior sometimes goes unnoticed, or worse, rewarded. 6. Ability to control their image. In the age of Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok, image is everything. Narcissists curate their brand meticulously. They know how to look successful, even if the reality is shakier. For example, that colleague who always posts pictures at conferences, fancy dinners, or with important people. Half the time, it's more about appearances than actual achievement. But in today's culture, perception often equals reality. 7. Short-term wins versus long-term costs. Here's the big picture. Narcissists are great at short-term success. They can impress quickly, rise fast, and shine in the spotlight. But long-term? The cracks show. Relationships break down, co-workers burn out, and trust evaporates. That's why some narcissists rise quickly and fall just as dramatically. So what does all this mean for the rest of us? If you've worked with, dated, or been raised by a narcissist, you already know the cost. Their success often comes at someone else's expense. Your energy, your confidence, your opportunities. At work, they might sabotage teammates to look better. In relationships, they might gaslight you to maintain control. In families, they might always need to be the center of attention, leaving others feeling invisible. And for society, the impact is even bigger. When narcissists climb into leadership positions, it can create toxic workplaces, unstable politics, or industries that reward exploitation over collaboration. So yes, narcissists might look more successful, but the ripple effects of that success are often destructive. Myth number 1. All narcissists are successful. Fact: many struggle with relationships, finances, and stability. You just hear more about the ones who make it big. Myth number 2. Narcissists are secretly confident. Fact: deep down, many are insecure. Their grandiosity is often a mask for fragile self-esteem. Myth number 3. You can change a narcissist if you love them enough. Fact: change has to come from them with professional therapy, and even then it's rare. So what can you do if you're dealing with a narcissist in your life? Set boundaries. Don't get pulled into their drama. Be clear about what behavior you will and won't accept. Don't compete with their ego. You won't win. Instead, protect your own self-worth by not playing their game. Document everything at work. If your boss or coworker takes credit for your work, keep records. Facts are your best defense. Focus on your own growth. Instead of obsessing over their success, invest in your own path. Remember, real success isn't about appearances. It's about fulfillment. Seek support. Whether it's therapy, trusted friends, or online communities, don't face the impact of a narcissist alone. So why do narcissists often seem more successful? Because the very traits that make them difficult, confidence, charm, risk-taking, and obsession with status, are sometimes rewarded in our culture. But here's the truth. Success built on ego is fragile. Real success, the kind that lasts and feels fulfilling, comes from authenticity, empathy, and meaningful connections. If you've ever felt overshadowed by a narcissist, remember this. Their highlight reel isn't the whole story. Behind the mask, many struggle with emptiness. Your steady, authentic path may not grab attention as fast, but it will carry you further in the long run. And if this video gave you some clarity, share it with someone who might need to hear it today. Because knowledge is power, and the more we understand narcissism, the less power it has over us. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe for more psychology insights that help you navigate life with clarity and strength.